Welcome to the Gameweek 31 Q&A. Zizo asks, which defence of the 8 teams do you think is the best to rely on for Gameweek 31? Liverpool will be the favourites for a clean sheet this week, having picked up 3 clean sheets in their last 6 games, ahead of a home fixture against Watford in Gameweek 31. But most of us by now will already have loaded up on 3 Liverpool players, so who else can we turn to for clean sheet potential? Watford have actually kept the same number of clean sheets as Liverpool during their last 6 game weeks, but we're unlikely to fancy their defenders ahead of the trip to Anfield. Stoke have conceded 6 goals in that time, on par with Watford, and just 1 more than Liverpool have conceded in the last 6. They've conceded just 9 big chances, which is far fewer than every other Gameweek 31 team besides Liverpool. What's even more of a bonus, for those of us looking at Jack Butland, is the amount of shots on target Stoke have faced, compared to the amount of goals and big chances conceded. Only West Brom have faced more shots on target over the last 6 game weeks, amongst all 20 Premier League teams, and yet such a small number of them were big chances, meaning that Butland is able to make an impressive number of saves and potentially pick up bonus points. Walid asks, how many active players should you have on your team for Gameweek 31? Looking at player ownership and template teams by the most recent deadline, we can estimate that there were around 5 players with a Gameweek 31 fixture in overall teams on average, and around 7 for those teams in the top 1000. Given that they'll each have had a minimum of 1 extra free transfer to use since then, we could be looking at an average of between 6 and 9 generally. At this point, all you can really do is use your remaining free transfer, and maybe take a hit to field as many players as possible, and be sure to cover the players with the highest potential to do damage. We'll come on to some options that fall into that category in a few moments. Ismail asks, if Kane has a long-term injury, whom would you replace him with? Spurs have confirmed that Kane is likely to be sidelined for around 1 month, giving us the opportunity to invest in other premium assets from Gameweek 32 onwards. Aubameyang has been making a claim for that spot recently, having scored in back-to-back Premier League games against Brighton and Watford. Arsenal's kind run of fixtures from Gameweek 32 onwards have been in our thinking for a few weeks now, and the forward looks the best way into their attack for that run. Another premium forward worth taking a look at to replace Cain is Romelu Lukaku. The Manchester United striker played a key role in Rashford's opener against Liverpool, and he's been directly involved in 5 Premier League goals during the last 5 game weeks, with a tally of 3 goals and 2 assists. Both Lukaku and Aubameyang are likely to have a double game week on the cards for Gameweek 34, so at least one, if not both, will be ideal for the near future. Josh asks, who are the best striker options, excluding Femina? Looking at forwards with a Gameweek 31 fixture, over the last 4 game weeks, there's one man who stands out above the rest. Huddersfield's Steve Mounié has taken the most total shots and shots from inside the box during this time, while only Roberto Firmino has produced more shots on target, with 6 compared to the Huddersfield striker's 5. Shabankar asks, can you please make a team selection video for if we use a free hit? Surprisingly, this team is actually very close to our actual FPLtips team for Gameweek 31, but the 2 changes to note are Patrick Van Aanholt in defence and Josh King up front. As we looked at earlier, Liverpool and Stoke on current form look the safest bets for a clean sheet in Gameweek 31, but the Crystal Palace defender has a very good attacking threat. Van Aanholt has taken 4 shots on target over the last 4 game weeks, which is at least double that of any other defender with a fixture this week. Josh King was apparently left out of the starting lineup against Spurs due to a minor injury, but he's expected to return for the home fixture against West Brom, and appears to have penalty duties for the Cherries. And the final question for this episode comes from Huzaifa, who asks, which are the best players to take a hit for apart from Shaqiri and Liverpool players? Based on those underlying defensive numbers we looked at earlier, Jack Butland looks the key target between the sticks. Not only does Stoke have a much better defensive record under Paul Lambert, but their setup also lends itself to creating opportunities for the goalkeeper to make fairly straightforward saves. Patrick Van Aanholt and Steve Mounié we've mentioned earlier as well, so they'd be the 2 picks to consider for a defender or forward, for their high number of shots on target and inside the box. For a midfielder, Junior Stanislas has shown very strong form of late, and has a kind home fixture against a badly out of form West Brom side. Stanislas has taken a total of 22 shots during the last 6 game weeks, only Harry Kane has taken more amongst all players.